and I'm doing it at the expense of you suffering, because I'm trying to make you work harder to make her life easier. Do you see that? That's favoritism. I would be a wicked man to do that. So any man that is practicing favoritism in a marriage is most likely a man who is unfair. Remember, favoritism is unfair. Now, there's a difference between favoritism and having a favorite wife. Because I think exactly what you're really referring to is having a favorite wife. And if that's your point, then you don't need to be married to no man. Because as I've said in many of my videos, a man is never going to be with one woman for the rest of his life. If you try to get into a monogamous union with a man in hopes that you're going to be his wife and only his wife, be mindful that he will have other women on the side somewhere. Even if he's faking like he's just with you, even if he's faking. If I was with you, I will have another woman on the side. Because there's a lot of men that play the monogamy game because there's a particular sister they want. And the sister is like, look, you're not going to have me unless it's just me. But the brother really liked this woman. So he'll go along with the whole monogamy thing in hopes that he would be able to get the woman. And he'll fake like he's just with her. And for whatever reason, he'll give the impression that he's just with her, but he have other women on the side. And, you know, you don't want a man living like that, because that's going to cause problems for you, because he may end up, you know, getting another woman pregnant, and then, you know, other issues happen. And it's just not the way to live. A man should not be hiding women. All his wives should be with him under the same roof. They should all know each other, and everybody should be in agreement. It's just that simple. If things are done backwards in whoredom and just, you know, everybody's just out of order, then it's not polygyny. It's just madness, and we don't want that. When I look at your comment, I'm seeing two different types of favoritisms that not really two different types of favoritisms, but you're looking at favoritism, and you're also looking at whether or not he have a favorite wife. Every man is going to have something that's his favorite. I can have a favorite color. My favorite color is blue. That's my favorite color. I'll use other colors, but my favorite color is blue. There's nothing that anyone can do to change that. If a man have 3 wives, out of the 3, there is going to be a favorite. You know who that's going to be? That's going to be the wife who is the best wife. It's just that simple. There's no other way around that. And if you're jealous because the husband has a favorite wife, then you're not fit to be in no union of any sort of marriage with any man, because you're jealous. It's just that simple. You see, in order for you to be a favorite, you have to serve a man well. So if you're not serving me well, but my other wife right here is, and all you do is gossip,
they all serving you well, then you're all my favorites.
You notice that I'm more affectionate towards her, then maybe it's because you're just not serving me well. You know, people have to really come to the understanding of why things are the way they are. Your job as a woman in a polygamous union is serving that man. And that's it. Your job is to serve that man, make him pretty much happy. Because if he's not happy, you're not going to be happy. But if you come in there with insecurities, if you come in there with doubts, if you come in there with, you know, all of these issues that you're bringing in terms of can you assure that there won't be any favoritism, then you're going to come in there with a lot of problems. Because the first thing you're supposed to understand is the character of that man. You see, now, me personally, I'm a man of truth. So when I'm talking to you right now, and I'm speaking to all women and the brothers so that everybody is learning, but I'm responding to your comments because I'm trying to make things clear. You have to understand that I'm a man. Men speak with authority. Men speak with strength. I'm a leader. My job is to make women understand. So if you're going to listen to this video, you can't be in your feelings. You can't be like, but I'm not attacking you and all this other stuff, because we're going to get to your other comment. This is not about me needing to calm down, because I think something in your comments, in one of your comments, you said something along the lines of, you know, slow down or something like that. You said, as if though I'm being too aggressive. First of all, I'm a man. I'm supposed to be aggressive. I'm supposed to be bold. That's what men do. You understand? I'm trying to make things clear so that you can understand, so that you don't make none of these mistakes. Because if you come into a polygynous union and you already have insecurities and you're worried about favoritism and all this other stuff, you're not going to last. Because you're going to be in your feelings too much. You're going to be too needy. A man don't need a needy woman. A man don't need a needy woman who want her emotions injected with something every day. A man got too much things to be doing to be worried about your damn emotions. And that's just some real stuff I'm trying to share here. You know, a man want women that come to the table that they're secure in who they are and their purpose. And they want to serve and they want to build with other women. You understand? So if you're in a union and you're worried about, well, why wife number one is the favorite? Because she's wife number one, for crying out loud. And she always been there. She's been there through all the things that, you know, you can't possibly imagine. So for you to be in your feelings as if though I'm supposed to treat you the exact same way like I treat her, you're out of your mind. You got to be out of your mind. You're not being reasonable. You understand? That's like saying having 5 children, a man is supposed to be the same way with all his children. That's not the case. If you read the Bible, you would know that. Even in the Bible, when we look at, Jacob, and we look at his sons, he wasn't the same with all his sons now. He had his favorites. You know, look at Benjamin. You see what I'm saying? Look at him. They were pretty much, that was one of his favorites, you see. Joseph was one of his favorites. He's the one who turned out to be that great ruler and wise man, you see. Think about these things. He had these sons, but at the end of the day, you see, he had favorites. So he had some sons that were wicked. He had some sons that were rebellious. But at the end of the day, he loved all his sons, but all his sons didn't get the same treatment. That's just the way life goes, you see. So if you come into a union and you're expecting a man to give you the very exact same love that he gives another woman, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind because that makes no sense. You see, if I have four daughters, do you think that I treat them all the exact same way? No, I treat them based on their personality and their needs. That's how I treat them. Personality, needs, attitude, you know, how, rebellious they may want to get will determine the treatment. How good they are will determine the treatment. For example, when a child is behaving themselves and doing well, you want to do nice things for them. You want to reward them. Well, what do you want to do for a child that's rebellious and don't obey? Are you going to reward them? Are you going to reward them like the other child? Of course not. You would be a terrible parent. So likewise, if wives are not behaving themselves, how can they expect certain treatment? How can they expect equal treatment? That's like you're in prison, but you're not following the rules, but you expect to be out on the yard and have the same treatment. No, they're going to lock you in the damn hole. That's where you're going to be for a month, 3 months. See? So when we look at your comment, I think the main concern as a woman is, can a man assure that he won't show favoritism towards either wives? That right there is based on insecurity. Because in order to know the answer to that, you have to know the character of the man. That's like you're watching my video and you're more worried about, if I was to hook up with Ringo, would he show favoritism towards his wife over me? You know, and you're worried about that rather than judging my character. You're supposed to judge my character. And if you see that my character is that of a good man, that of a righteous man, you shouldn't be worried about that. Also, if you're a secure woman who know that when you come to the table, you're going to be that type of wife who's going to be obeying and doing well, then there's no reason for you to be worrying about favoritism, because favoritism is pretty much based on a man dealing with his wives unfairly. And the Bible clearly tells men not to do that. It talks about how a man supposed to provide a woman food and raiment, and her duties of marriage shall he not diminish. Which means he can't show favoritism towards either of the wives. You're not supposed to do that. But now, on the context of having a favorite wife, that right there is something that is normal. For example, if I'm making love to you and you are outstanding, then I'm gonna like spending a lot of time with you. Whereas if I'm dealing with my other wife and she's just boring in bed, but yet it's okay, then hey, it's okay. But I will definitely have a favorite. It's just that simple. There's no way I'm going to be like, hey, the sex of all three of you is just perfect, the same. I just love everything. No.
That would be dope.
One is going to be performing oral sex better than the other.
It won't have to be
and that's just a simple fact. There's no way around that. So having sex with one of the wives is going to be better with one over the other. That's just the way it's supposed to be. There's no way around that. And if you want to be the one who is the favorite, then by all means, you got to be serving me well. And see, that's the problem. Women are too worried about other women rather than doing their job. See, if you just focus on being a wife and doing it to the best of your abilities and not worrying about, who's the favorite, your life will be more at ease and you'll have more peace. Stop worrying about what the other woman is doing or who likes who or who. That's not what polygyny is about. Polygyny is about what you bring to the table to help build this family. It's about building a union. You see, you're there to help that man, to relieve him of his stress, to cause him more peace. You know why men need more than one woman? You know why? Men need that companionship with women. A lot of men don't get that. A lot of times women think it's just sex. Sex is very important. Of course a man would desire to have sex with more than one woman. But you know why men really need more than one woman? It's companionship. Companionship is so important. And a lot of times most men won't even understand or admit it unless they're mature and understand themselves. For example, me personally, I need the companionship of women. I need women around me. It's not even a sex thing, even though sex is great and I love having sex. But at the same time, being able to have a woman around me to talk, to share my thoughts, to hug on her, to feel her next to me,
a mature one,
share my ideas, to teach her, to instruct her, to correct her. All of those things brings out the best of me as a man, because it allows me to delegate different tasks and different things to women, which causes me to grow. When a man is dealing with one woman, one personality that he's dealing with, so he's not really growing because he's doing the same thing every day. And if the woman is not adapting to him the way she's supposed to, it's not challenging that man to become a better man. Nor is he doing other things to provide more. When a man have 2 wives, 3 wives, that man is going to work his ass off. He's going to do more. He's going to become more creative. It's going to expand his capacity, and he's going to be a better, stronger man because his wives are causing him to tap into his inner strengths, and he's going to bring out the best of him. But he needs wives that are definitely righteous, wives that are good, wives that are going to serve him, wives that are not full of greed. And I'm not suggesting that you as a woman are full of greed. I'm telling you that your comment comes across as a woman who is not concerned with the man, but more concerned with what he has to give you. Because your second point was, what if he wants 2 wives, yet can't afford 2 wives? What does it mean to not afford 2 wives or can't afford 2 wives? Because I hear that question all the time and it's very annoying. Do you know how many Jordan shoes I own? Some people can't even afford one. I have hundreds. The word afford is so misused. What do you mean by, what if he wants 2 wives yet can't afford 2 wives? How much does it cost to have a wife? Could you answer that question? How much does it cost for a man to have a wife? There's really no price. There's no price. So don't put a price on a wife. It's very, very annoying when women do that, because you're basically saying or suggesting that being a wife is all about you going on shopping sprees, going on trips, vacations, having your own house, car, and a man got to do all this stuff for you, and that's not what it is. That's not what polygyny is about. You see, polygyny is about you serving your man and being a helper to that man. If you're not helping that man, you're not going to get help. If your man is not happy, you'll never be happy. Women need to understand that your husband comes first, not your children. Your husband comes first. You see. So if your husband is not coming first and he's not happy first, you'll never be happy as a woman. So you shouldn't be concerned about what he could afford or can't afford, because that's all BS. At the end of the day, you're worrying about stuff that makes no sense. Because as I said, and I wrote a comment, let me read my comment. I said the following, and I guess the sister thought that I was being too aggressive, or as if she's challenging my authority. She don't understand that this is real. This is very real. These videos are not games. This is serious stuff here. I said the following. I said, why do women always bring up what a man could afford as if polygyny is about him spending X amounts of dollars on his wives? This is why polygyny is difficult to practice, because women are focused on money rather than the man and their purpose on being a helper to him. If a man have one wife and 5 kids, are we going to say he shouldn't have more kids unless he could afford another child? The only thing a man is to do for his wives is provide food and clothing. That's it. Doesn't cost $1 billion to make sure the wives are eating or have clothes to wear. Plus, if the wives know how to sew clothes or know how to sew, they'll be making clothes. Women are backwards, and that's the truth. Women are backwards today. This video explains a portion of your comment. If your husband hates you, it's because you're not a good wife. It's that simple. If you're serving your husband well, why would he show favoritism? That was a typo. Do a father show favoritism to his children if he's a good father? Notice that, if he's a good father? No. Because remember, favoritism is about being unfair at the expense of another. You're showing favoritism towards one while the other one suffers. So you're being unfair with favoritism. So a father is not showing his children favoritism. Now, does a father have a favorite child? Of course he do. Every father do. You know, every father will have a favorite child. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's a good thing. Just like a man will have a favorite wife. That's a good thing. But that doesn't mean he don't love his wives. I can have a favorite child, right? Because that child is always doing well, always doing everything right. It's my favorite child. That's the child I'm rooting for. That's the child that I want to go to higher levels, because they're very, very intelligent, very good. I feel that they're doing the best of all my children. Does that mean that I don't love my other children? Of course not. I love them all. But at the end of the day, having a favorite is not a crime. Just like having a favorite wife is not a crime. You see? And if you feel that if a man have a favorite wife, a wife in whom he loves sincerely, then you're not built for anything in marriage at all, because you suffer from very, very low self-esteem. And that's a problem that's going to cause you to fail in any marriage, because no matter what that man do for you, you're not going to be happy. Women who struggle with self-esteem issues, they're going to always fail no matter what. So even if your husband said, I'm going to spend a lot more time with you, you're still not going to be happy, because in the back of your mind, you know he loved that woman more than you. And that's another thing that a lot of women don't understand. They don't understand what love is. Love is not a feeling. Love is action. See, if my wife been with me for 15 years and you just came to me for the first year, what makes you think that I love you more than my wife that I've been with for 15 years? Are you at least trying to understand? How could I? That's like I've been employed at a company for 15 years, giving them all my time, been working my ass off. Very, very good worker. Time and attendance is flawless. I'm reliable. Always been there. I'm pretty much the company's favorite. You just came in, your first year, but yet you're mad because I got a plaque on the wall saying that I'm the favorite worker, best employee of the year, year after year. And you're mad about that. This is your first year at the job, but you're mad. Why would you be mad? I earned that. You see? You're supposed to come in and congratulate me and do your best to make the company better despite my credentials or what I've done. And see, that's how it's to be in marriage and the polygyny. When a wife come in, she's not supposed to be worrying about who's the favorite. She's supposed to be worrying about doing her damn job. It's just that simple. But see, women, they come into these unions and they have this premeditated disposition towards certain things, and they have this idea that they're supposed to be automatically equal to everybody, as if though that's how life works. That's not how life works. When you come into a new job, you're on probation. You know, you're on probation, which means they can get rid of you. See, when you come into a polygynous union, you don't come in there and just start wanting to have things done your way. You got to prove yourself. You got to prove that you're loyal. You got to prove to me that you are actually a wife who wants to serve me. I need to know that you're real. I ain't gonna know that until you're a wife. A woman can talk a good talk. I can holler at a sister and me and her could be chopping it up, talking on the phone, talking through text. We could be doing all that. But once we're in each other's presence, and she actually is a wife, and you spend real time with each other, that's the true test of where she is. All that talk on the phone, all of that, it's nice and sweet. But when you're under the pressure of dealing with the marriage, you're going to really know where everybody stands. So, I explained myself very well throughout that particular portion. I hope that you understand. We're going to get into more topics on this issue in a moment. I'm reading my comment to see where that I left off about favoritism. I'm not sure if I read all of this, but I said the following. I said, the only thing a man is to do for his wives is provide them food and clothing, which is true. The Bible says that. Doesn't cost $1 billion to make sure your wives are eating. I said that. All right. This explains a portion of your comment. If your husband hates you, it's because you're not a good wife. And that's true. So, favoritism is not because he hates you. Favoritism is pretty much, well, in a way, favoritism can be if he hates you, because technically, based on the scriptures in that video, the husband was trying to give the firstborn status to the second wife's son rather than the firstborn. So that right there would be technically favoritism. So I'll correct myself on that. That would definitely be favoritism. So if your husband hates you, there is a possibility that he can show favoritism, which is wrong because he's being unfair. You understand? Yes, he don't like you because you're rebellious. But in that context of that scripture, the firstborn son was from the first wife. But he tried to give the firstborn status to the second wife's son. And the scripture says, don't do that. So based on scripture alone, that should tell you that even the Bible is teaching men not to practice favoritism. So when you initially come into the comments and you're asking me about, can a man assure that he's not going to show, that is not something you would want to post after I just gave that scripture, which is basically teaching men not to be that way. So we're dealing with the character of a man, you see. So you would have to understand the character of a man to have that assurance, you see. And also, you would have to make sure that you're serving your man good, because there's no reason for a man to be unfair with you if you're doing good, you see. And you also should not be focusing on what he could afford or what he can't afford. Because once I hear that, all I see is women who just want money. Because here's the problem. If you're worried about if a man could afford 2 wives, then this is what's going to happen. If you were in a polygynous union, you're going to be the type of wife who's going to always have issues with money. When it comes to bills, when it comes to buying things, when it comes to the place you live in, you're going to be an annoyance. Oh, the place is too small. We need more room. We need this. We need that. First of all, y'all not helping me. I'm the one providing. I'm the one working my ass off to provide. Now, if you wives really want a larger place, a bigger place, perhaps y'all should behave. Perhaps y'all should cause me to be encouraged. How about giving me an encouraging word? How about encouraging me to do better? How about you ladies begin to work together rather than being jealous of one another and competing? Come up with different strategies on how you can help me with the different plans and ideas that I have for business so that y'all can run the business while I'm at work doing what I'm doing. Then perhaps we can have better and greater things. You see, women are not thinking like that. They're thinking about themselves. So if you come into the union focused on what he can or can't afford, you're going to cause that man a lot of stress. And that's something you don't want to do as a woman. Every man starts from the bottom and he works his way up. No man is going to start off by living in this big house. If you're a sister and you get involved in a polygynous union, ain't no telling where you'll be living. You see? That doesn't mean when you jump into polygyny, you're going to be in this 7-bedroom apartment or 7-bedroom house on a hill somewhere with 3 bathrooms. You're being ridiculous if that's what you believe. You may end up getting in a polygynous union and you're in a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, if that right there shocks you, if that right there make you feel like, well, I don't want to be in no polygyny relationship, then you don't want to be in any relationship. Because there are relationships where a man and a woman is in a 1-bedroom apartment. 1-bedroom apartment. Now, that's pretty small. But yet, they got to make it work. And if you're really about that man and about serving that man, you'll be loyal to that man in a 1-bedroom apartment. And then you'll move into a 2-bedroom apartment. And then as you have children, you'll build more. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of woman a man needs, a faithful woman, a woman who is not materialistic. I don't want no materialistic woman. I can't stand materialistic women. I want women that want to serve. I want women that want to build with me for me, because they want to. Oh, I looked at your Instagram page, Ringo, man. Yo, you got all that gear. Man, I want to be one of your wives so I can dress fly, so I can look good. Really? You have the wrong motives, wrong purpose. You're not going to work. It's not going to work. Because, see, again, a man is supposed to take care of his wives in terms of clothing them and feeding them. But if your focus is getting with a brother because you're focusing on trying to get some clothes, you're in the wrong business. You see, you're in the wrong business. Now, if a child is rebellious, that child won't have certain benefits in terms of being a good child, a favorite child. He's not going to be getting any benefits. Likewise, a wicked wife can't expect to be praised for being wicked. That's what I told the sister. Now, she came in, and this is my first time actually reading this comment. I'm reading her comment right now, because I seen the comment this morning and all I saw was slow down, or she's not trying to challenge my authority or something like that. So I'm now reading this second comment from the same sister. She said the following. She said, "Hey brother, my brother, sir, slow it down. I am merely sincerely just asking my questions out of curiosity of how those types of relationships are able to work. I am not trying to challenge your authority, but I am seeking clarity. That's all. I am really interested in this subject. That is why I stated I would have to ask men who are in polygynous marriages some of my questions. I don't want to know I do want to know personally, how do they manage to keep things in order? Well, you keep things in order by obeying the scriptures. You see, if you're a woman of truth, a woman of moral excellence, then you would know that in order to have any order in any household, under any union, people have to be following the Most High. And I don't mean religiously. I don't mean like you're just religious and it's just a boring marriage, just boring, filled with religion. I'm talking about you take the principles that's from the Bible and you apply it. I'm talking about women behaving themselves. I'm talking about the men having character, dealing with their women wisely, teaching his women, not out there being a whoremonger while he have 2 wives at home. Let me tell you something. If I have 3 wives at home, there's no reason for me to be in the street being a whoremonger with women. There's no reason. I have pussy at home. I'm just keeping it a buck. I have 3 women at home, 3 flavors of women that I can choose from. So there should be no reason for a man to be outside at a strip club trying to get freaky with some thought somewhere. Because at the same time, as a husband of 3 wives, you have to have morals and values yourselves. You have to have respect and character. You can't be out there having sex with women that are strange, because you're dealing with your women. So you don't want to be raw dogging women in the street and then you coming home to your wives and then you want to have sex with them raw dog. That's unacceptable behavior. So to all the women who think that polygyny is about a man just having sex with women raw dog, doesn't matter if it's his wives or women in the street, that's not how it goes. A man is supposed to be faithful to his wives. So if he is in the street and he meet another woman in whom he like, he have to take that woman as his wife. Do you understand me? Which means he have to get to know her. He have to take the initiative to build with her, and then he have to take her as his wife. Or he can have her as a concubine, but that woman would have to be faithful to him. She would have to be introduced to the wives. There have to be a lot of different talks, because a lot of times people don't understand this stuff. And I try to teach people morals and values. And a lot of times brothers get polygyny mixed up as a way to just go out there and have sex with multiple women and not really understand that they have a responsibility. As a man under polygyny, you have to be responsible for your dick. You understand, brothers? You have to have respect for your dick. You just can't take your dick and slide it up in any type of pussy and then you want to come home and fuck your wives. How that look? I'm outside hooting and howling with different women, right? And I'm fucking some sister that I don't even know, right? You end up getting an STD. You come back home to your 3 wives now, making love to them, and then you give them the infection. That's why a lot of times when women hear about polygyny, they throw STDs on the table. Not that they should, but they throw it on the table because they think that polygyny is some sort of whorish type thing where a man is just out there sleeping around all day. And that's not what it is. A brother have to respect his dick. I respect my dick. You understand? I respect my dick because I know that with my dick come responsibility. I just can't go throw my dick in any woman and then come back home to my wives. That's disrespectful. You see? And if you were to do something like that, then obviously you should be wearing protection. But that's a whole nother ball game, because if you saw my video about condoms, you would know that a condom can't really protect you from shit. You see, when your balls is hitting up against a wet pussy and that pussy juice is all over your balls and legs, or that sister is giving you head without no condom, please explain to me your protection. Please explain to me the protection of you eating that sister pussy, but yet you go back home kissing your wives. See, this is why a lot of women have issues, because a lot of times brothers are not sincere, nor do they have character. When I make my videos, I speak about real shit. You know, I speak about real issues because I'm a man of character, and I try to make women comfortable so that they can understand the good, the bad, and the ugly. A man have to have moral excellence and character. A man can have wives and he can have concubines. A lot of times, some women are better off being concubines because they got a busy life and they just want to be with this man. They want this man to be their man. So she's better off being his concubine, but she got to be faithful to him. She can't be outside having sex with other men and then that man is having sex with her. It can't be like that. She have to be pure, clean, and her pussy have to be reserved for him and him only. She should only be sucking his dick. She shouldn't be out there with no other man. And that's just the facts. Now, the sister went on to say, let me see, she said, I do want to know personally, how do they manage to keep things in order? I explained that. You do that by the scriptures. Then she went on, she said, and sir, hating a wife and having a favorite is 2 completely different things. See, again, sister, you are not explaining yourself well. You are not, because you're saying hating and having a favorite. Your initial word was favoritism. Favoritism and having a favorite is 2 different things. Before you even come to my topic, you're supposed to know what you want answers for, so that I can make things clear for you. You just can't be, misusing words. That's not my mistake. That's your mistake. That's your mistake as a woman. And to be quite frank, I explain what favorite mean. You see, hating is pretty much you not obeying your man. If you don't listen, if you're not serving me as a woman, I'm not gonna like you. If you're causing me stress in the house as a wife, I'm not gonna like you. That's just the truth. Again, this is why we have issues when it comes to polygyny, is because the women are not making many of their points clear. The sister initially in her first comment talked about having the assurance that a man is not going to be practicing favoritism, right? But now in her second comment, she says, and sir, hating a wife and having a favorite is 2 completely different things, as if though that's what she told me in the beginning. You see what I'm saying? Having a favorite have totally nothing to do with favoritism. Nothing at all. You see? Then she went on, she says, indeed, if you hate your wife, it is certainly not without reason. And any woman whose husband hates her, she should definitely reevaluate herself and see what she is doing wrong to cause this, which is a fact. Then she says, unfortunately, I asked about favorites because I know we all are human, and sometimes it's human nature to favor things or preference for something. So it sparked my curiosity. However, I know I cannot form any assumptions about polygynous marriages, as I have never been in one, and also no assumptions are useless, sir. But see, here's the problem, sister. You didn't ask about favorites. You asked about favoritism. I think the truth is you don't know what favoritism means. Because if you understood what favoritism mean, you would understand the difference between a favorite. You see, if I have a favorite color, I'm not being unfair to the other colors. You understand? But now favoritism, that is when you are pretty much doing something unfair. You're giving preferential treatment to another person, right? While being unfair to the other person. That's the difference between favorite and favoritism. The fact of the matter, sister, is you don't know the meaning of the words you're using. So in the beginning, you didn't ask me about favorites versus hated. You asked me about favoritism. Two different things. A righteous man don't practice favoritism. See? But a righteous man is going to have a favorite. See, if I have two wives and they've been with me for 15 years and I just met you, how you expect to be a favorite? Why would you even be concerned about who's the favorite and who's not? Sounds like insecurity to me.
She can't be a part of the team.
So the truth of the matter is you need to really check yourself. What is going on within you internally that makes you feel or worry about a man having a favorite wife? Why would you even be concerned about that when your job is to serve him and serve him well? You see, you said as of right now, I don't have any opinions on polygyny other than the fact that if I ever get married, I would be open to letting my husband have another wife. Well, this is not about you being open to let him. He can have a wife regardless about what you think or feel. This is another problem with women.
They don't like
You're not
that.
letting your
Trying to
man do
control.
anything. Your man can do what the hell he want to do. You understand? If I have a wife and I'm trying to get me another wife, I'm not waiting on my wife's approval. I'm not waiting for her to allow me to go get another wife. I'm just going to go get another wife. And if she want to go, she can go. You understand? Because I can always get women. You see? So I want that to be clear to you because you're not allowing anything. You see? A man can do what the hell he want to do. He's a man. You're a woman. You have to know your place. And your place is not to allow a man to have anything. Because a man is going to do what the hell he want to do regardless if you disagree or agree. Now, it's good that you agree with polygyny. It's agree that you don't have a problem with a man having another wife. But let's make this very clear. Just because you say you're open to letting, you're not, listen, you could just say you're open to a man having more than one wife, but don't use the word letting my husband have. You're not letting anything.
She a control freak.
Because once you talk like that, I got a problem. Because that means that you control your man. And no woman controls a man's manhood. No woman controls my dick. If I want to put my dick in that woman's mouth, I'm going to pursue that woman to be my wife. Or my concubine. There's nothing you can do about that. Because I'm a man. No woman controls my dick. My dick belongs to me. My dick don't belong to no woman. I'm a man. See? It's just that simple. So
I feel sorry for the man who ain't got that control, boy.
That you agree with polygyny. It's good that you're open-minded, but don't use words like you'll allow your husband, because when you say that, you just basically stepped in the position of being the head of the husband, which means you're allowing him. No, I allow you to be my wife. I'm allowing you to be my wife. See, it's just that simple. You went on to say also.
Good question.
She said,
about
what
the kids
if
coming
he wants
about.
2 wives but can't afford them? I guess she's talking about also my question. She probably meant to say about what if he wants 2 wives but can't afford them. Question wasn't from my point of concern. I was meaning that if he is the one who is concerned of wanting 2 wives yet he can't afford them. I mean no harm by those questions, and perhaps I should have reworded a few things. Let me respond to what she said. Again, what is the price of having a wife? Because you keep saying, can he afford them? Afford what? What exactly is he to afford? How much does it cost to have one wife? Do you have that answer? If you don't, you shouldn't.
How much it costs to have one wife?
Another wife, because you don't even know what you're talking about. This is why it's very annoying to see women ask those foolish. These are foolish
How much
questions.
it costs to have one
it's
wife?
Very annoying. I really hate answering those types of questions because it's very silly. Your job is not to be worrying about what he can afford. The average guy within the world is said to not even be able to afford to have a wife. Because women put so much emphasis on money. They put so much emphasis on where they're going to live, what kind of car they're going to drive. And this causes men to say, I don't want to get married. I'll just sleep around with women and be a whoremonger rather than getting married. Because they don't want to deal with responsibility. And it's because of women who ask those kind of questions.
Hopefully,
you see,
you have those truths about righteous women. None of that stuff will happen, man. They're not righteous
to have
women
a wife when it don't.
Shit like that. They ain't.
I mean, what really am I spending money on? I got to pay the bills. I got to pay the rent.
Righteous women is going to help you along and be righteous along with you.
What really is the big issue?
She's down for the legacy.
Can I afford? If I got 4 kids
she's down for the bigger picture,
and I have a wife, don't you think that costs money itself? So if I have 4 kids and I have 1 wife, that should cost money, right? So what if I had no kids and 2 wives? Or 1 wife, 1 child, and I got a second wife? Is it going to be more expensive than having 1 wife and 4 kids? You know, kids cost money. Got to buy them clothes and shoes too. And they grow out of things too. So it's an irrelevant, foolish question. See? It's very foolish to ask those questions. You went on to say that I meant no harm by those questions, and perhaps I should have reworded a few things. You should have first understood the meaning of favoritism from favorite. Because beautiful. After I read your comments, I knew where all your mistakes was. Your initial point was not even about favoritism. It was more or less you want to know who's going to be the favorite wife. And I'm here to tell you, you're not fit to be in no polygynous union if you're worried about those things.
Or no relationship at all,
because it's not for you to be worried about. You went on to say also about a man spending money as a provider. I would be okay with submitting and letting my man be the provider, but I would also try to make the load on him as light as possible. Well, that's your job. It's not about what you are willing to do. As a wife, your job is to submit to him. Your job is to make things lighter on him. Your job is to make him less stressful. See, that's your job. That's not something you would want to do. That's what you're supposed to do. Just like he's supposed to be the provider. You're supposed to take care of your man. It's just that simple.
She ain't.
You said,
what is he doing? Come on, leave her alone, boy. Move. You got the code?
That's stressful for him.
Huh?
That sounds all nice.
Yeah, go right here, right?
That sounds sweet and nice. You would have no problem sewing clothes, growing food, or whatever the case is. What if you don't live in the city? What if you don't live in the city? Are you going to be growing food? See? Women don't think about that. Because again, women have their minds set on big house, big land, acres of land, growing food, cutting grass. They don't think about city life. Do you know there's people in city lives that practice polygyny, that live in apartments? Are you willing to do that? Or are you like, oh, well, I don't want to be in an apartment. I expect a man to have a big house. Well, you know what? You need to stay by yourself. Because you're going to cause a man a lot of stress. And see, this is why I teach
no stress, bounce.
Know a woman. Because just because a woman have a pretty face, a fat ass, and she look delicious,
don't care how big it is,
doesn't mean she's going to be a good wife. Because any wife that's focused on looking down on a man based on where he lives, she's not fit to be in no marriage with him. Because she's not looking at the bigger picture of growth. She's not there to help this man grow. She's expecting to come into a situation where a man have everything
to take all his resources and
that's not going to
escape.
happen. You see, you have to build. In today's culture, in today's society, it's very difficult for a man to even make a certain amount of money because the way the world is set up,
struggling like a motherfucker.
But if a man have the opportunity to build with multiple women, now he can create businesses.
And with one
he have more minds,
stream of
more
income,
women,
you need more than that.
People to work. One woman cannot do everything.
I need about
one
4 or 5 streams of income
house,
coming
take care
in.
Of man sexually, take care of her body, take care of responsibilities, personal hygiene, doing errands. She can't do all of that. She's gonna wear herself out. She's gonna be tired as hell. Dealing with children alone is a full-time job. So How could a woman take care of kids, multiple kids, and then have time to spend with her husband to be sexual? But yet you're worried about, do he have a favorite wife? Most men that are with one woman, man, are pretty much
in the house trying to drive you crazy for no reason at all because they got low self-esteem.
Because their wife is not really there with them. And that's just truth. This is why men have multiple women on the side. Women ask these questions on why men cheat, why men have a jump off, why men have a side piece. Because there's no other woman there for him. Imagine being in a relationship where you have a wife but you're not fucking her. Imagine being in a relationship where you have a wife but she don't cook for you because she don't got no time. She's dealing with the kids. What if you're in a relationship with a wife
in there, my shit.
She's not cleaning the house because she's occupied with so many different tasks that she don't have the strength or the time to do all those different things. This is why men need more than one wife. So what do men do? Being that these wives are rebellious and fight against polygyny, these men just go outside and just get whatever woman they can get. And now they're living wickedly rather than righteously. And this is happening because the society we live in causes men to act like they're monogamous in hopes to get a woman, but yet on the side they deal with women on the low key. And it shouldn't be that way. Everybody should be working together. So I hope that this video pretty much answered that sister and also helped other women and also help you brothers to know that when you're dealing with these women, you got to deal with them based on knowledge. You can't just get with these women and you just want to make them wives because they look pretty. I mean, look at it. Look at the question this sister put out there. You may not understand the urgency of understanding this type of information. This is serious shit here. This type of information is easy stuff. This is light information. Like, this is not even heavy artillery when it comes to polygyny. This is like stuff that is the basics. And she didn't even know that.
Common sense.
You see? But yet these women want to be wives. I keep telling you, brothers, you got to get to know women. You got to get to know where they are, and you got to teach these women. As a man, you got to teach women truth. I just taught this sister a whole lot. Now, what she do with that knowledge is going to determine where she stand. Because if she's going to get in her feelings and start to act, start bugging out, oh, it ain't like that, brother, you don't have to be all aggressive, then she's not ready for no man. She's not ready for a king. She's not ready for a leader. A leader is not a bitch. A man who is a true man of the Most High, who is a leader under polygyny, a husband, he's not going to tolerate no bullshit. He's going to be the type of man that set order. He's going to be knowledgeable. He's going to call out the bullshit. He's going to be there to correct women. He's going to teach. He's going to edify. And he's going to keep shit a buck. You know what I mean? So everything you heard in this video is real. It's raw. Straight to the point. I could care less how fine a sister look. A sister could be bad as hell, yo. You could be fine, sexy from head to toe. But at the end of the day, if you're not pleasing to me, if you're not going to serve me, if you come into the union with the wrong motives, it's best you don't come in. Because you're going to cause problems for everybody. You're going to cause stress on my...
Who's the fuck calling me?
You're going to cause stress on the other wife, and then you're going to cause stress on yourself and me and the kids. Everybody going to be stressed out. Because you're going to be worrying about trivial shit, such as who's the favorite wife. If you're worrying about that, you're insecure. From the gate, you're insecure. So when you talk about assuring that, because you said that was the main point that you're trying to make about favorites, about a favorite. That's what you said. You said, and sir, hating a wife and having a favorite is two completely different things. No, what's two completely different things is favoritism versus having a favorite wife. Because I explained, a man is going to have a favorite wife. A man is going to have favorite children. A man is going to have a favorite color. If you have a favorite color, does that mean you hate all the other colors? No. If you have a favorite type of food you like to eat, does that mean you hate all the other type of foods you eat? No. So if I have a wife and she's my favorite and I have two other wives, does that mean I hate my other wives? No. Does that mean I don't love my other wives? No. That just means I have a favorite. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're worried about being the favorite, it's best you don't be married to no man. Because you're insecure. I'm letting you know, sister, if you're worried about stuff like that, you're insecure right now. And if you come into a polygynous union insecure, you're not a whole person. You are very insecure and you're going to bring problems and baggage to a relationship, which means you have been in relationships previously and you have been hurt and you've been always worried about being number one. And it don't work like that. It's not going to work like that. You got to come into the union of polygyny with the mindset of serving a man, catering to that man, being respectful to that man, honoring that man, and not giving that man a hard time. Because if you come into the union worried about who's the favorite, then you're trying to challenge other women. You come in there with a competitive spirit. You're coming into the union with a competitive spirit. That's not how you're supposed to do things. Serious. So, with that said, thanks for viewing the video. If you like my work,
I'll let her sleep right now. Oh, it don't matter. Back to the video. She's gonna wake up.